In the last episode of Town Hall 11 Free to Play, we built the Grand Warden, upgraded the laboratory, and discussed the entire upgrade priority listing. Today, let's get into the laboratory priority guide that's right for you. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joe, and welcome to episode 2 of the Town Hall 11 free-to-play series. Man, that's going to take some getting used to right there. We were at Town Hall 10 for 4 months, so you can only imagine how it's going to turn out for Town Hall 11. We're talking about 6 to 7 months on this Town Hall alone, just the defenses and the heroes. Now, when we get into this laboratory, guys, the laboratory is going to get a little out of control. I'm not even joking about that. When we get into this lab and start looking around, it gets a little overwhelming. We're like, where do we even start? Everything is so expensive, and there are some of these that are so long for upgrade timelines that it's just almost incomprehensible. So when we look at the healer here, I looked at the healer yesterday. I forgot how long this took. It was like 14 days. So this is definitely a hammer situation. We're going to have a hammer for this. So my recommendation to start us out before we get into any guides today about this laboratory is that if you do not participate in the clan war leagues, I highly recommend it. If you do not participate in the clan games, I highly recommend it, because any magic item that you can get your hands on, whether it's a hammer of fighting or a book of fighting or some type of laboratory boost, you need to claim those as often as possible, because the laboratory, according to the stats that I just looked at a moment ago over on the Clash Ninja website, we're talking 13 months for my laboratory. There's no telling what your laboratory looks like, so it's just something to think about there. And quickly, before I get into the laboratory, I need to show you what's been done since yesterday. So you're going to notice that the Dark Elixir is full yet again. You're also going to probably notice that's over on the left side of the screen, I do have the sneaky goblins unlocked. So what happened is I was using the miners yesterday like I presented in the previous episode, and I filled up my Dark Elixir, and I got there about, I don't know, 9 o'clock last night, and I was like, oh no, I can't do anything with this queen yet until tomorrow when I record, you know? So I went ahead and unlocked the sneaky goblins, and then I farmed up all the resources to complete my walls. We got the walls, that's the new ones, I promise you. That is the new walls that are the same level as the old walls. They're all level 11. I'm telling you, when there's a will, there's a way, boys. So we got the walls done, and we are full on Dark Elixir yet again. So I need to go ahead and capture this moment where we upgrade the queen to level 42. Yeah, level 42. And we're going to use that book that we claimed from the clan games yesterday. And this also basically opens it up in the sense that if I do get another opportunity for a hero book, I don't have to wait to claim it. We've just spent it. So the queen is now the equivalent of level 47 with the boost going. Now, speaking of the boost, with your armies, now that you have the armies and you can use boosted troops, if you unlock the laboratory, got it to level 9 like we did yesterday, you can try out new armies. That's the one thing that I want you to really take away from it. This time frame, not just for clan war or not necessarily just for farming, but you can do friendly challenges and practice with new armies. And a lot of the armies that are really hot right now at Town Hall 11 are the Electron Lalo, we got the hybrid attack, you got the ice golems and witches, which naturally you still have to unlock the barracks to get the ice golems, and you also still need to unlock the electro dragons, but you can really get a good feel on what you like to use, and that is what our laboratory priority list is based on today. What you like, not necessarily what I like. So I got 2 guides. We're going to go ahead and get into those 2 guides right now. Alright, so laboratory upgrade priority list. Let's make this as painless as possible with a couple of lists that we've constructed for you. Now, I must extend a very special thank you to our Discord staff who has some input on these lists. Are you a ground attacker or are you an air attacker? You can screenshot this in exactly 3, 2, 1. Now that we've gotten that knocked out and you've got some crazy picture on your phone, now you will see that we have 2 different lists that were constructed by the Clash Ninja website. Thank you so much for that amazing website that I use all the time to monitor the progress on my base. It is linked down in the description below. So here's the deal. These are simply examples targeting either the Miner, Hog Rider hybrid attack or the Electron Lalo. Now, those are the 2 items that we're really focusing on. You need to make sure that you prioritize a farming farming army first. So that's what our miners are for, and that's what our balloons are for. And realistically speaking, when you think about it, you have to have a very solid farming army to feed these upgrades. That's one of the things that you have to take away from this. This is exactly 3 months worth of upgrades. Now, naturally, if you want to use an all Electro Dragon army, you'll probably prioritize that a little higher than some of these others. And the same thing also applies if you're trying to use the ice golems and witches and bowlers. You'll probably move those up in the list as well. But anyways, when we first get started, we want to upgrade our barbarians first. And the reason behind that is, in the case that you want to use the new super troops, you can use the new super barbarian by upgrading your barbarian to level 8. Also with this also links into the barbarian king's ability, and the barbarians that spawn from that barb king's ability is the level that's equally in your laboratory. So that's one main reason for upgrading the barbarians. The same thing also applies to the archers. When the queen's ability is used, the archers spawned by that archer queen are the same level that's in your laboratory. So that's the reason why I prioritize those both on both of these lists very high to go ahead and get them knocked out. Besides, they're also very cheap, 7 million and 8 million in only about 8 days. Only 8 days, not a long time or anything, right? Now, by now you probably noticed that I have the healer level 5 marked up pretty high on the ground priority listing and not the air priority listing. And this is mainly for my own personal preference. I like to queen walk a lot. So if you are an air user and you also like to use queen walk lalos or something, you might want to move the healer up in your priority list. But I also recommend that you bring a hammer of fighting to complete that upgrade. 14 days is way too long to wait. Now, on the ground listing, we have 2 levels on the miner, a baby dragon level that we need to get done mainly for funneling purposes, and sometimes I like to use a farming army of all baby dragons. It's just a fun thing to do every once in a while. And then I also have the hog rider and the poison spell followed up by the electro dragon. I might shift this around a little bit. It all really depends on what's going on and where I am in the clan war league or clan game cycle to really kind of feed the magic items to help these upgrades out. And if you haven't noticed by now or picked up what I'm saying right now, a lot of your metals probably needs to go towards your laboratory and not the actual base, because defenses goes faster than the laboratory ever will. That's the way it currently is in the game. It might change in the future, who really knows? But at this very moment of the date of release of this video, this is something that we need to take into consideration. We need to keep our lab going nonstop and try to speed up and negate as many of these high resource collecting timelined items and get them done as quickly as possible. And that's what the hammers and the magic items are for. Now, when we jump over into the air army, I kind of constructed this with the thought process of Electron La Lo. You got to have those haste spells, you got to have those clone spells maxed out, and you also need to make sure that you kind of diversify between your hero upgrades. So we got the lava hound followed by the balloon followed by the minion to try to offset the use of elixir and offset the use of dark elixir. And you might want to use a hammer on one of these items to make sure that you get your balloons in the laboratory as soon as possible. Just something to think about. Now, you might also be asking, what about Pekabo Bat, or what about Drag Bat, or what about some of the other armies that we see at Town Hall 11? These are just examples for 2 select armies. You can always move those armies, if you want to use those instead, up into this priority list and move some of these down. It's really off of your personal preference. I like options. I know a lot of you guys out there like options, and I wanted to build 2 lists for those of you that like to use either ground or air just to get you started. And I think that's a really good way to get you working in the lab and keep you motivated and trying new things. Alrighty then, so upgrade priority list is complete. I wanted to keep that as simple as possible. I don't see the point in drawing it out any longer than it needs to be. You need items that you need to upgrade right now. There's your list, and that gives you a guidance on where to go and what direction to take if you are either one of those ground or air users. Now, right now in my laboratory, I'm kind of bound to my poison spell because I was upgrading this when I was at Town Hall 10 and I had it all planned out, but we obviously upgraded to Town Hall 11 a few days earlier. But either way, it's actually a really good thing because I've had a lot of fun and I've been very motivated. So, you know, we got those walls complete, and I'm sure some of you are wanting to know, how in the world did this dude get all those wall levels done so fast? Well, check this out. We are in Crystal 2, we were in Crystal 1, and when you saw the video yesterday, I was in Masters 3, and we managed to drop down a little bit, and that's mainly because of all this blood red that's going on down here. So I was using the sneaky goblins, and I go straight into straight up farmer mode when I use the sneaky goblins. I'm not worried about winning. I'm not worried about town halls. I'm not worried about trophies. I'm looking for dead bases, and I'm looking to steal their loot. I mean, I had a bunch of them that were like over 1 million, and I'll go in and basically drop the sneakies around the base to target the mines and the elixir collectors, steal the loot really fast, and then I'll bail on the raid without using all of my sneaky goblins. And the point of this is to realistically just go in, grab the loot, get out as fast as possible, do another raid, and I'm stealing loot so fast. And so it's just one of those things that you have to have a personal preference for. If you are so concerned about your trophies or so concerned about losing, then this is not the army for you. But this is by far the fastest method to steal loot, and there's no spells involved. You don't even need spells for it. So you're able to claim the elixir really fast. And speaking of elixir, I got a builder available. I'm going to go ahead and start upgrading my storages because I got 2 upgrades that are down for 8 days. I got to get this elixir storage down for 2 days. We got the bomb tower, still got 2 days, and then the expo. So the expo will finish, and then the bomb tower and elixir storage will finish, and then I should be able to move into something else. But anyways, that's regardless of the fact. So let's go ahead and finish up the video with one final raid live, and I got to show you what kind of loot I'm finding down here in Crystal 2. I mean, that's a monster loot, right? This is why I'm down here right now, because we're still kind of feeling out Town Hall 11. We're still trying to figure out what's working for us. It's a little bit of a change when you start adding in that Eagle artillery, and I like to find dead bases and hit the dead bases instead. But sometimes you'll find a very much alive base that has not been logged in a while, and you just got to go after it. So let's go ahead and go and see if we can grab a bulk of this loot. No promises on getting all of it. I need the queen to go the other way. Let's not go that way. Where are you going, queen? All right, so we need her to go inside. Let's go ahead and drop our baby dragon. Let's drop our king. And we do have the battle blimp this time around instead of no clan castle like I was doing yesterday. And let's see if we can get this queen to go inside the base. Where's that baby dragon? Come on, baby drag. Take down that archer tower and cause this queen to go inside the base where we want her to go. We'll probably save the sneaky goblins for another video. I don't want to do that in this video. We've been doing so much sneaky goblins on the rush base series that I'm sure a lot of my viewers are probably pretty burnt out with the sneaky goblins, but we'll see how that plays out in the future because they are an absolutely amazing farming army. All right, so let's go ahead and move a battle blimp in, and since the eagle's down, we can start dropping some miners, and let's go ahead and do this, and let's go ahead and freeze that for a moment. Actually, I should have yep, we got a good drop. Let's get that. Get it. All right, miners are down. And looks like our Yeti ended up on the outside of the base, so that didn't work out very well for us, but they will join us. Let's go ahead and drop a heal spell for our Valkyries and miners. And where's our queen? Queen's down on the bottom side of the base. That's good. Let's go ahead and drop an archer over here to start working on some stuff, and our Valkyries in the core. Let's go ahead and use the Grand Warden's ability over here since we're dealing with some wizard towers. And let's drop a heal spell up there. Miners are going to split a little bit since our king died already. He did not take out as much as I was hoping he would, but it's not a big deal. We'll be able to work with it. We got one freeze spell that we can use, so let's go ahead and freeze this compartment. Almost all of it, right? And let's drop a heal spell for our miners up here. Now the queen is a little busy. She might get caught up on a wall like she normally does, but she's going to take out some gold, and the miners are going to take out all the stuff around the top side. And we will be able to walk away with all of this loot. So, I mean, this is a really great way to finish out the video and show you there is some serious loot down here in Crystal League, but I'm going to also request, try to leave a little bit for me because I like it too. And, yeah, I love it, man. I absolutely love these big loot offers because it helps speed up our progression so fast. And it really makes wall upgrading very easily, but I promise you, I have no intent on doing walls right this second because these walls are exactly 3 million apiece since we do not have any gold passes on this account, and that's just going to take a really long time. So if you got something out of today's video, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you have not done so already. And if you like watching us every single day, turn on those notifications. If you want to see any of the Town Hall 10 or Rush Base series, click one of those links over there, and we will see you in the next one, guys. Take care.